Hello guys, good morning. Welcome to the session today. Hope you all are doing good. So let us start the session. So if you remember, so far we had discussed about one of our first service, that is Google Cloud Storage. And today we are going to start with one more topic, that is Cloud SQL. Okay, let me tell you what is Cloud SQL and all. Then we will come back to the Google Cloud platform to see how the Cloud SQL looks like. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Cloud SQL. So Cloud SQL is one of the fully managed service. Okay, it's a fully managed service. So you already know what is meant by fully managed service, right? So fully managed service means no infra headache. Okay, no infra headache. All the infrastructure management will be taken care by the cloud provider itself. Okay, and next thing is that it is one of the RDBMS solution available in the Google Cloud Storage. RDBMS solution. RDBMS solution. What is meant by RDBMS solution, sir? It is a relational database management system. Nothing but, for example, if you have a object kind of a data, you are going to the Cloud SQL. If you have a tabular data, okay, sir, I have a tabular data. If I wanted to store that tabular kind of a data, you can go to this Cloud SQL. So what is meant by RDBMS solution, sir? In RDBMS solution, they are going to store structured data, okay, which will be having structure. When I say structure, it will be a tabular data. When I say tabular, it will be having columns and rows, and there will be a proper schema assigned. Okay, so this is the thing, proper schema assigned. Okay, so when I say an RDBMS solution, we are going to store here the structured data. When I say a structured data, the data will be in the form of a tabular format, and it will be having columns and rows, and the schema is must be properly defined. Okay, so this is how it looks like, columns and rows. And the next point is that, okay, if I wanted to store, so if I wanted to store this data in Cloud SQL, I need to select one of the database engine. Okay, Cloud SQL provides you three database engines, guys. How many database engines it will provide? Three database engines provide. For example, you might have seen outside. Like MySQL giving Postgres SQL SQL Server. So MySQL provides you Cloud SQL provides you three database engines. One is MySQL, one more is Postgres, one more is SQL Server. Okay, so either you can choose any of these things. Sir, I wanted to work with MySQL. You can go for that. Sir, I wanted to work with the Cloud SQL. You can go there. So if you wanted to work with any of these database engines, you can actually go to any of these things. Okay, so I'm going to show you how the interface looks like also in a bit. Okay, and people usually call this as a database as a service, because we are going to provide the database, a Google Cloud platform providing you the database as a service to you, so that you are using the you are getting the benefits of this service because you are not managing any infrastructure, you are not taking care of any management details. So all the things will be taken care by the Cloud SQL or cloud provider itself. Okay, that is the reason it is called as a database as a service. Okay, so when you create one instance, okay, when you select one database engine instance, okay, Cloud SQL instance, when you create one instance, that instance will be having some kind of limitations. Okay, that instance will be having some kind of limitation. What is that limitation, sir? So it will be able to store the data from 10 GB to maximum of 64 GB. Okay, 64 TB, sorry, terabytes of the data. So one instance can withstand the maximum terabytes of the data is 64. 64 terabytes of the data it can able to store it. Okay, so that is what the one instance can store maximum. Sir, if I wanted to have more than that, you have to go to the one more solution. You cannot store it in the Cloud SQL. Okay, Cloud SQL instance has a maximum limitation of 64 terabytes of the data as of today. Okay, maybe in the future they may change it. Earlier it used to be 32 terabytes only. Now they have increased it to 64 terabytes. Maybe in the future it may be increased, but as of today it is 64 terabytes of the data. Okay, so that is one more point. Likewise, RAM also will be having some kind of a properties. RAM also, I think some 500 or 400 plus GB of RAM will be there, but I will show you. Some 500 GB of the RAM will be there. That is also some kind of a limitation. Okay, okay, this is also there. So one more thing is that it provides to manage the backups. So you need not to worry about the backups, replications. Okay, replications, and it is a regional service. It is not a global service, guys. It is a regional service. You don't see multi-regional option. Okay, if you go to the cloud storage, you will be able to see multi-region option also because cloud storage is a global resource. It's nothing but a multi-regional resource. But when you come to the cloud SQL, it is a regional service, so you can only see multi-zones. You don't see multi-regions. You can only see multi-zones. Okay, so this is also one more thing. Okay, sir, if I wanted to work with the cloud SQL, how I have to work with? Okay, if you wanted to work with the cloud SQL, work with the cloud SQL because cloud SQL does not give you any interface to work with it. So if you wanted to work with the cloud SQL, you might be choosing MySQL or a PostgreSQL or a SQL Server. You have to go to that particular workbench or studio. Okay, you have to go to that particular workbench or studio to work with it. Okay, so that is one thing. Like if you have selected a MySQL database engine, right? So you have to go to MySQL workbench. If it is a SQL server, you have to go to the SSMS SQL Server Studio. So that's how it is. Or you can also work from the Cloud Shell. Okay, you can also work from the Cloud Shell. Okay, and usually most of the times, Cloud Shell is one of the operational database, and it will be connected to the applications. It provides you the feasibility to connect it to the application to get the data. Okay, so this is one more thing. And the ninth point is that it can be easily integrated with other services. Integrated with other services. It can be easily integrated with other services, guys. That is also one more point. Okay, and I think this is it. And it's secure and compliant. So that is final option. Secure and all the data is encrypted throughout encryption. Okay, it is secure and compliant. You can think of like the data that you are storing is always encrypted. That means the data in the rest as well as in the transit, it will be safe. You need not to worry about it. Okay, so this is all about the cloud SQL, guys. What is a cloud SQL, sir? So if you wanted to see the cloud SQL, just understand this point. See, I have some file data, CSV or Parquet or Avro or video file or audio file or some other PDFs or Word files or PPTs. What I have, I will be going to store some kind of an object, right? If you are thinking of like an object, so you can go to the cloud storage to store the data. Sir, I have some kind of a tabular data. I wanted to see the in the form of a tabular only. I don't want to see the data in the form of an object. So if you have a data in the form of a tabular, you can go to the cloud SQL. And it is not it yet. So there are few more things also add on to that. So if it is a tabular data, and if you have a if you need to operate OLTP system, then only you will be going to the cloud SQL. Okay, likewise the tabular data, and if you need a data warehouse kind of a situation, then you go to query. So this is the requirement. As per your requirement, you have to select it. So if it is an operational database, transactional database, if they are looking for, you can go to the cloud. If they are looking for data warehouse solution, you can go to the BigQuery. And if it is a object kind of a data, if you wanted to store it, you can go to the cloud storage. Okay, so this is how the requirement. So yeah, it is a fully managed service, an RDBMS solution. When I say an RDBMS solution, the data will be in the form of a table, columns and rows will be there, and the schema is must be properly defined. It provides three database engines. One is MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server. Where I can see it, sir. For example, if you go to the Google Cloud Platform, select Cloud SQL. So you see here Cloud SQL. You can see here Cloud SQL offers fully managed database service for MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, reducing your overall cost of operations and freeing up teams to focus on innovation. Okay, so if you need some kind of a database service like MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, you can come to the Cloud SQL. Because if you're working in the MySQL in the on-premises, right, you have to take care of all the infrastructure. So that is a use case, guys. So what is a use case? If you have to understand, the use case is like this. Okay, you have, so this is a use case. Assume that you have a MySQL database hosted on local machine or some virtual machine. Okay, so assume that you have a MySQL which is installed on local machine or some virtual machine, and it has some databases. Inside that database, you have a table 1, table 2, table 3. Okay, so what is the requirement is that, so when they have hosted on the local machine, they have to scale up it manually. Scaling up is problem. They have to do it manually, and for scaling up, they have to take care of all the resources. They have to take care of the management details. They have to take care of the infrastructure details. So all of these things they have to manually take care of, and there has to be one network team, there has to be one admin team, there has to be one backup team. So all of these people working behind the scene to make this particular MySQL database to be available over the network, so that it can be connected to the application for the data input purpose. Okay, what is happening is that, so the company is unable to handle these many challenges, are unable to take care of their infrastructure or management, or unable to maintain this MySQL database. or not only MySQL SQL Server or PostgreSQL. Okay, so they are looking for one of the solution in the cloud and which is exactly similar to the MySQL database. Okay, so that's where they can come to the Cloud SQL. Cloud SQL provides you three database engines. One of the engine is MySQL. Okay, they can go to the Cloud SQL, they can select the MySQL as the database engine. Okay, once they select it, if they need to maintain this entire thing, they have to migrate this entire data to the Cloud SQL. So this is what is one of the data migration project. So there where people will be migrating their data from data old database to the new cloud data, and that means on-premises database to the cloud database. Okay, so the advantage is that they can select the same MySQL and the same version. If they have some 5.6 or 8.0, they can select the same version also. Okay, so that the only difference is that now the on-premises, instead of on-premises, it is hosted on the Cloud SQL. So they don't need to worry about the infra, they don't need to worry about the management details, they don't need to have a separate admin team for networking, networking backups, all of those things. So everything will be taken care by the cloud provider here. Okay, so that is what is the advantage of Cloud SQL. That is what advantage of the Cloud SQL. Okay, so back to this. So it is database as a service. For mention, these are the limitations. Manage backups and application will be there. It is a regional service, so you can select multi-regional, multi-zones replication. To work with the cloud, you have to go to the workbench or a cloud shell or applications. It can be easily integrated with other services. Secure and encryption will be there. Okay, so let me go to the cloud shell. See here we have just seen this one, right? So if I want to, so what I have to do, sir? I need to create an instance with the free credits. Click on it. So once I click on create an instance, it is asking me for me to choose the proper database engine. See here, choose your database engine. Select, as I was telling you, as of today, Cloud SQL is only providing you three database engines: MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server. Maybe in the future they may add few more database engines also, but as of today, it only providing you the three database engine support: MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server. Sir, I wanted to work with the MySQL. Choose MySQL. The benefit, the good thing that the Google is providing you is that they provide you the different versions also. How good is that? Sir, I was working in the, think like this. Sir, I am working in on-premises MySQL 5.6 version. My developers are already habituated to use it, and we have a database. Inside the database we have a plenty of table 1, table 2, sorry, table 2, table 3. We have a plenty of the tables. What is happening is that, sir, we are able to manage the infrastructure. So they are looking out. So we are looking out for a solution where a cloud provider, where they provide you the MySQL database engine first thing, and they provide me the 5.6 version also, because with the 5.6 version, all our tables are already working properly. And if I change it to the one more version, or if I change it to the one more database, there will be a plenty of problems I may see. So I am looking for a MySQL database engine with the 5.6 version. And is the Google Cloud SQL provide me that or not? Yes. So Google Cloud SQL does not only provides you the database engine of MySQL, it also provides you the proper version. So whenever you are migrating your database from the MySQL 5.6 to Cloud SQL MySQL 5.6, there isn't much changes you're gonna see. You just have to migrate entire your data from local to the cloud. That's it. Okay. So this is the advantage that the Cloud SQL provides you. So different versions. Okay, I am going with the MySQL. Okay, so once you have clicked on MySQL, we have to provide the configuration. What is the instance ID? Sir, my instance ID is MySQL DB. My instance name is MySQL DB. Give a password 12345. Give any password. This is the password for the root user. Okay. So how the MySQL works is that MySQL actually if you might have worked on the MySQL or if you are new to the MySQL or any other thing. So for anything there will be a root user. By default, root user will be there. The username is root only. And the password will be you have to put the password anything any password, but in our case I am putting the password as 12345. So tomorrow if I wanted to log into this particular MySQL database engine, I have the root user as well as 12345, or I can create my own users once I create the database. Okay, so this is what it is. By default there will be a root user will be there. The password is the instance password. So this is the password for the root user. And you can select any of the version according to your requirement. I go with 8.0 updated version. How beautiful is that is, you can see, you can select the production, deployment and sandbox. This particular MySQL database engine, you are using it for what purpose? Are you using it for testing environment? Are you using it for the production environment? Are you wanted to use it for the development environment, sandbox environment? So select it as per your requirement. Okay, each have its own advantages you see here also. If you go for production, 8 CPU, 32 GB RAM, 250 GB storage, highly available. Development, half of it. Sandbox, even half of it. Okay, so that's how. So according to your requirement you can select it in your project. When you are working in your company, if you just wanted to try it out this particular solution, go for sandbox. And after that set up your development environment, lower environment. After that set up your higher environment, nothing but a production environment. Okay, so these are the things. Now I am going with the sandbox. Okay, now I am going with the sandbox. Choose a location. You can choose any location. I am choosing the US West one. And select the single zone or a multi zones. See, zonal availability is also, as I was telling you, it is a regional service. So you can only see the single zone or multi zones. You don't see multi regions. Okay. So it is a regional service. So when you select a multi zones, the high availability will be there. You can also select a single zone. That is also fine. Let's go with the multi zones. Okay. After that, sir, if you still wanted to customize your database engine, click on show configuration options. Select the machine. I don't need this one. If you wanted to have a simple one, you can select the 3.75 GB. Storage, I was telling you maximum storage can be 10 GB to the 64 terabytes of the data. You can able to see it here. As for now, I have selected 10 GB. Okay, maximum terabytes 64. Okay, and the connections, we will add the connections later. Data protection, you can see managed backups. If you wanted to take a backup window at what time, you tell properly here. Enable deletion protection, I am deleting it, guys. So this is one thing that if you enable it, no, even if you wanted to delete it also, you can't delete it. You have to again edit it and disable this option. Okay, if this option is enabled, the instance won't be able to delete it until this feature is disabled. Okay, and maintenance, flags, query insights, all of those things select properly. Once you have selected everything, okay, like instance ID, password, database engine, enterprise, as well as zones, machine configuration, storage, connections, data protection, maintenance, all of those things. If you select it, finally you will be able to see the cost estimated for this one per hour. So 0.14 per dollars per hour estimated, and you can also look at it. So if you think that this is in your budget, in your project when you are working, you can actually go for this thing. Okay, if you think that this is in your budget, you can actually go for Cloud SQL. So that's how you select it. So it's not that the tool is capable of doing it or not. It's not only, we are not only when we are working in a project, when we wanted to create one solution. So it's not that there are two perspectives. One is the tool is capable or not. One more is the cost is. So the price of the product is in our budget or not. So that is what the people say. Okay, so you can also look at the cost here, the summary of all the things that we have selected here. Once you have selected everything, okay, once you have selected everything, click on create. Okay, once you selected everything, click on create. It takes almost like 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Raise your hand if you have any questions. Seems like all are clear with the concept. So let's wait for 2 minutes. Yes, Ram.
What if I want to use Oracle database?
So
Can't we
that's
use
what,
it?
as I was telling you, like so
Yeah.
far,
Mhm.
the Google Cloud SQL, as of today, only supporting three database engines. Maybe in the future,
Okay.
they might be adding Oracle also, but you have a
Mhm.
uh, way of doing it. So, sir, I have a Oracle. I wanted to migrate it to the MySQL. Feel free to do that. You can do that. Okay. So from Oracle to Postgres or Oracle to
Mhm.
MySQL, Oracle to SQL Server. If you wanted to do it, you can do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Only
Yeah.
these three database we can.
For
Yeah.
now, these three. Yes.
Mhm.
But
Right.
people are doing it. From Oracle to the
Okay.
Postgres, MySQL, SQL Server, they are doing it. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, Shekhar. Shekhar, I can't hear you. You are not audible.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Now I can hear you. Yes. Again, no.
I hope you can hear now.
I think now I can hear you.
So did you say people are migrating data from Oracle to MySQL?
Yes, yes.
So what's the migration process? Like, is it how they are migrating? Is it like,
We will
are they
see in
using it?
next classes how the migration will take place. Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I will tell you because you can do it manually. You can also do it with a DMS service. So there are two things. Either you can go for DMS service, which is automated, and the manual process also you can do it. And one more thing is that I'm going to show it with a MySQL, and you can just relate it to the Oracle. Okay. So when you
Okay.
actually go to the Cloud SQL, I will show you the manual process later. But if you can see here, when you click on migrate data, this is a migration data service, DMS. Yeah, enable it. If this is the first time, right? So if this is the first time, enable it, guys. Yeah. So when you wanted to migrate your data from some other database to this one, so you can select any of these things. MySQL, which is there in Amazon, RDS, Cloud SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL. Okay, Cloud SQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle. You can also select Oracle. Oracle to some other database also you can able to select it. So that destination database has to be in the Cloud SQL. So Cloud SQL offers only three: MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server. You can do it from Oracle to any of these three database engines. Okay.
Okay. So, and for the migration, is there any charges? Like they
Of
charge
course,
us?
for the migration there will be charges, right? Yes, because you are using some resources. So whenever you use resources, there will be a cost associated.
Okay. I mean, for using the tool, for
Yes,
using GCP tool.
yes, yes. There will be a charges. Okay. Now our database instance is created. See here, it is up and running. Okay. So you will be able to see. If you wanted to see the monitoring options, you can able to see it here. The dashboards and all of these things are here. And if you wanted to connect it to this instance, you have here the IP address and the connection name, and the configuration is listed out here. And the service account of this Cloud SQL is also here. And the logs when it is created and who is creating a database, all of the information will be stored here. If you wanted to see the operational logs, you can click on this thing. Okay, and you can able to see if you wanted to edit any of the properties, you can click on this edit and go for the editing of this one. And if you wanted to import any of the data to this particular tables inside the database, so you can also do that. Export one of the table to the outside also you can do that. Restarting it, stopping it, deleting it, cloning it, and failover. So all of these options are here, you just have to select it. The only thing that the Cloud SQL is that it will not provide you the any interface for working with it. So if you wanted to work with this database engine, you have to go to MySQL, right? So you have to go to your local workbench. So I have already the MySQL local workbench. I'm going to click on it. Okay, so this is my local workbench. I'm going to delete these things. Let it be. So if I wanted to work with this particular Cloud SQL instance, I have to connect it to it, right? So I'm going to create one MySQL connection. Click on plus mark and provide a proper name, MySQL DB. So the same name I have given, you can also give as MySQL DB, which is there in the cloud or GCP instead. Just give a proper name so that you will be able to understand it later. Okay, after you have provided, and you are going to connect it via IP address, right? So you can select the IP here, and the host name. The host name is nothing but IP address. Go here and copy this IP address and come here and paste it. By default, the port number is 3306 for the MySQL, so need not to change it. Okay, root user is also root user, and for the password 12345. Okay, click on it. Click on test connection. Click on test connection. It gets failed. It usually get failed because it's not like someone who is having a IP address and username and password, they can able to connect it, because you also know my host name, password, and user. But it's not that you get access to my database. Okay, so what we have to do is that you are using this MySQL workbench from Sun network. Okay, this is your local workbench. You are using this local workbench via some network. So if you allow that network, then only the Cloud SQL allow you to connect it to this database. If you don't allow, you will not be able to connect it. So where I can do it, sir? You can go to the connections and allow that network. Okay, come here and add that network. Otherwise, you can mention something like home, and if you wanted to get to the IP address, my IP, you can select my IP. Okay, IPv4 is your IP. Copy it and paste it. Okay, but I am not selecting this network because my Wi-Fi is a dynamic, and the IP address keep on changes. After some time, if I see it, it will keep on changes. Okay, like next minute. Now after 1 minute or 2 minutes, see it keep on changes. Earlier it is 62, now it will change it to 156 because our networks are dynamic, so it will keep on changes. But when you are working in a company, they're going to provide you the static IP address. Okay, now we are not going to provide the IP address. I'm going to allow all the networks. Okay, I'm going to allow all the networks to connect it to this database. Okay, because my address is my IP address is very dynamic, and it is not static, so it's going to be changing all the time. So that's the reason I am adding a network which will allow all the networks. So you can see here you have added this one, and which allows all networks. Okay, so this is something that only for our demo purpose. Usually we will not be doing this kind of a thing in the company. In the company, they will be providing you the proper network IP address here. Okay, once you have added this network, click on save. Okay, so try to add the network which you are accessing it, which you are accessing your database from. So that network, if it is not added, you cannot be able to use your MySQL database. For now, for generalizing the things, to able to connect it to this network, I am just using the all networks IP address, nothing but a 0.0.0./0. So now I come here, I click on test connection. See, successfully made a SQL connection. Okay, so once I click on it here, you can click on OK. See here, this is my MySQL DB GCP. Click on it. Okay. When you go to your MySQL, sorry. When you go to your MySQL, go to the overview. Go to the overview and you will be able to see all the options here. Likewise, when you click on the connections, you will be able to add some networks here. You have authorized one network, that is 0.0.0. All networks you have authorized. And if you wanted to add any users, you can also add. Earlier we were using the root user, right? So if you wanted to add any user, you can also use it, like my user. The password also you can put it as my pass. Okay, so you can select the password and click on add. Okay, so you can also log into this particular MySQL DB from this user as well. Okay, so my user, the password is my pass. So with that username and password, they can also able to connect it to this one. And databases. Okay, so by default, for the operational purpose, this Cloud SQL creates 4 system databases. Okay, these are all 4 system databases. User databases are not there. Okay, so user databases are not there. So if I wanted to create it, I will come here. You see here, this is my MySQL workbench, and I have connected to my GCP cloud. And this is my MySQL DB, which is hosted on my Google Cloud platform. Okay, so this is what it is. Now, if I wanted to create any database, how I can do that, sir? So to create a database, very simple, right? Database, you can just mention the sample DB. So I am creating a database. See here, click and run. Okay, one database is created. Where it is created, sir? It is not created in your local, or it is not created anything. It is actually created, sorry. It is actually created here. You can refresh it, you will be able to see. There is a user databases. Okay, you see here, a system database is created. Okay, you can only see the database name. All other things are hidden only, like table, all of those things. If you wanted to see all of those things, you just have to go to your, if it is a PostgreSQL, go to the studio. If it is a SQL server, go to the studio. If it is a MySQL, go to the workbench. Okay, so that's how you can able to work it. And if I wanted to create a table, how we are going to create tables, sir? Use sample DB. Create a table. Somewhere I'll be having some scripts, I believe. I did not have it. That's right. Okay, I have it here. Okay, I'm going to create one table, guys. So I'm creating some user table. You see here. So create table users. ID is integer, primary key, auto increment. Username is varchar not null. Email varchar not null. Age integer, created it this time term. Okay, if you wanted to insert this data also, you can able to insert it. I'm also inserting some records. Okay, I have it. I'm also inserting some records. Okay, now see here, you can remove this statement because we already created database. You can see here, all of these things are there in our notes if you wanted to practice it. Okay, don't worry, you have all the things are in notes. You can go to the DM practice. You can able to see here database tables and some tables, sample tables. And once you have created database, you can refresh it. You will be able to see sample database here. Inside the sample database, do we have any tables, sir? You see, we do not have any tables. Let me create one table. Once I put all the script here, I will click on run. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna run it everything. Okay, so now we have, see, the table is created and inserted the data also. It is everything is green. If we refresh it, you see here, we have a table. When you click on this table, you see here the columns. These many columns are there. And if you wanted to see the data, select star from users. See, you will be able to see the data like this. Okay, where is this data stored? Where is this table stored? Everything is stored in the cloud SQL. Not here. It is not stored in your local machine. Everything is stored in your cloud SQL only. But you cannot be able to see it. That's it. Okay. So that is how it is. Okay. With this one, I am stopping the session for today. If you guys have any questions, you can ask. Okay. Once your practice is done, the best thing is that because it is a costly process, go to the cloud SQL and try to stop the session. Okay. Stop the instance. Click on stop it. Okay. Yeah. So you can close this workbench also. Once you stop it, even though during the stopping, no one will be able to connect it, no one will be able to work with it. Okay, yes, Nagaraj. That I will show tomorrow. Yeah.
So the cost to
Yes,
host
yes, I will tell
MySQL.
you that. Yeah, I will tell you. Object lifecycle management is very simple. So it's like this, for example, it's a life cycle rules. You can think of like a rule. Sir, I wanted to put one rule in the Google Cloud Storage. There is a concept of object lifecycle, very simple. No, people don't use it, but very rarely use it. But there is a rule. Sir, I have selected standard as a storage class. Sir, I wanted to, after 30 days, I wanted to convert the standard storage class to the cold line. Okay. So in such a ways, can I put any rule? In such cases, you can actually create one rule. Okay, so it is a rule, life cycle rule, that due to the age, I mean, as per the age of the bucket, if you wanted to convert the storage classes, in such scenarios, you can actually use life cycle rules. Okay, where I can do that, sir? For example, if you wanted to do it, you can go to the cloud storage and select the bucket. And you can see here inside the bucket you are, and you see configuration life cycle, and you can click add a rule. See, you can set the class to the near line, you can set the class to cold line and archive or delete an object or delete something, whatever some kind of action you wanted to do based on one condition. What is that condition? Based on the age. So, sir, after 30 days. Okay, or if it is created before. Sir, or if some kind of activity is happening, live state is become this thing, live or non-concurrent. Okay, so whatever it is, if you wanted to select, most of the times people will be going with the age. You can select that age. So once this age becomes 30 days, whatever the storage class it is there, it will become to, the action is, it will become to the near line. So that is how for this purpose people will be using it. Okay, and it will take 24 hours to reflect it whenever you edit one kind of a object lifecycle tool. Okay, so this is the main purpose of using it. Okay, due to the I mean, as per the age of, it's a bucket level. It's a bucket level only. Yeah. You don't see. If you, No. Automatically, all these things are backed up. You need not to worry about it because when you select a multi-regional, all these things are available all the time, and no need to worry about backup on all of those things. Yeah. Cloud storage is mainly used for if you wanted to do any of the backups. Here you are going to use it for the archival. If you have some file you wanted to store it for long number of years, then you can actually store it here because that is the main usage of the cloud storage itself. Disaster recovery, archival, all of those purpose. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay. So we will see it, how we can load it to the MySQL data from the source systems. We will do that. We will see that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. With this one, I'm stopping the session for today. We will meet tomorrow at the same time. Okay. Yeah. Don't forget to stop your instance if you have created. Okay, guys. Bye bye. Have a great day.